Right now at 5, the Maple Leaf Parade pushed through rainy forecasts in Carthage. While organizers say this year's celebration was still a big success, now the community kept the festival spirit alive.
And we are dry for our Monday and a bit on the breezy side. We're going to have a look at your forecast coming up.
Plus, a homecoming parade brings splashes of color to Girard, even on a rainy day. What made this year's fall festival extra special, and the events that had the whole community celebrating.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5 a.m. I'm Samantha Walker.
And I'm Chris Warner. It is now Monday, October 20th. Happy Monday.
Happy
my
Monday.
Goodness. We've only been here like 10 minutes, it seems, and it's been a Monday.
Yes, it's been a Monday, but you know what? We're going to make it a great day, Chris. I'm
are.
starting to feel the fall weather.
Yes,
I love
we
and
are.
appreciate.
Oh my gosh.
Even if I was feeling it on the Maple Leaf when I was getting a little bit rained on, trying to get ready for the parade.
Yeah, it was a bit of a stormy day on our Maple Leaf. Had that severe thunderstorm watch, had some severe thunderstorm warnings. Thankfully, today at least calmer from the rain standpoint, but we've got some very gusty winds to deal with. Let's start with our live look outside downtown Pittsburgh, where things are looking pretty darn good this morning. And from our camera at 7th and Range Line in Joplin, looking good as well. There is a spider web on there. I tried to get it off. We have a wiper on this. I didn't go up there and try and get the spider web off, but yeah, it didn't really do so well. MoDOT camera 20th and Range Line also looking good this morning. So we have wind advisories for the counties in this tan color until 1 o'clock because we could have wind gusts upwards of 50 miles an hour in this zone. And just because you're not under a wind advisory doesn't mean it still couldn't be breezy where you are, okay? But we are talking some pretty gusty winds. In fact, that's it on the future track. And you'll see these wind arrows. And what we've got is we have a low pressure system, and we also have another dry cold front that's coming in. And as they start getting a little closer together, which you'll see here, those winds really pick up out there, and that's why we've got the wind advisories. That's why we're expecting a very breezy day, and that's why also at least one day only we're going to go back up above normal, a little bit on the warmer side before things cool back down again. Speaking of cool, look at these temperatures out there this morning. A bit more seasonable, still above normal. I know it feels chilly. I know it seems kind of crazy, but if we should be in the upper 40s. We got a lot of low to mid 50s out there. Cassville right now, the cool spot though, sitting at 45 degrees. Only a few upper 40s in place right now. As we get our day underway for our kids heading to school, we're looking at clear skies, about 53, bit breezy. Gusty winds really ramp up by mid-morning into the early afternoon. We'll go 71 at lunch and recess, 76 as the kids head home. We're going to go upper 50s by 9, low 70s by noon, mid-upper 70s for our highs. And again, south winds sustained at 20 to 30, gusts upwards of 45 to 50 miles an hour. So very breezy day indeed. We're going to cool back down behind this front, and we're going to also have some additional rain chances later this week. Go over those details with you here in just a few more minutes. Samantha?
Chris, thanks. The Maple Leaf Parade went off as planned this weekend in Carthage, despite early concerns about rain in the forecast. More than 150 entries, including local schools, first responders, and businesses, joined the celebration, though some attendees said the crowd was smaller than usual due to the weather. The Carthage Chamber of Commerce says the community's creativity and support made this year's parade a success, with floats embracing the City of Pure Imagination theme. After the parade, festival goers continue to enjoy the shops, activities, and the classic car show. Girard, Kansas hosted a parade of its own as part of its fall festival and homecoming celebration. Coincidentally, on this wet day, the theme was Under the Sea. The parade was a highlight, but certainly not the only event. Other activities scheduled included a Harley show, a tractor pull, a cakewalk, and live music.
A time to relax after the busy season of all the summer hoopball and stuff, and just relaxing. A lot of the graduating classes are here today, and just reminiscing and enjoying each other.
In addition to that parade and various activities, Girard's Fall Festival included more than 50 vendors. If you're looking for fun fall events but don't know where to turn, we've got you covered. Just scan this handy QR code and head straight to the events page on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. You'll find information on all kinds of family fun events, including fall festivals and some scary and not so scary haunted houses. That's the events page at KOAMnewsnow.com. Thousands of people gathered under the Space Needle this weekend, taking part in a nationwide No Kings protest against President Trump. Alex McLoone shows us how Seattle's crowd turned out and why many say their fight is just beginning.
Under the Space Needle, thousands rallied around another No Kings protest, marching against President Trump's moves toward authoritarianism.
Benjamin Franklin was asked what kind of a government they were establishing.
Congresswoman Pramila Jayapal told a crowd as far as the eye could see that Franklin's warning rings true today.
She famously answered, "A republic, if you can keep it."
Donald Trump has got to go. Ho, ho.
The president's second term is defined by immigration crackdowns and an institutional overhaul. Organizers say the No Kings movement is growing from a few thousand nationwide just months ago to what they call the largest protest in U.S. history.
Tens of thousands of people are making the 2 to 3 mile march through downtown Seattle.
If I don't fight, who will?
We're doing it with nothing but love and just showing up.
It's like every day you look in the newspaper, there's like 2 or 3 things, at least big things happening that's showing erosion of our democracy.
SNAP is being cut.
For the chair of the King County Council, it was more than a protest. Gurmai Zaile was raised by Sudanese refugees in South Seattle.
We lived low income in South Seattle and in Skyway, but because of HUD investments in affordable housing, we had a roof over our head. Because of Medicaid, we had health care. Because of SNAP, we had food on the table. Because of Pell Grants, I got to go to college. And now, just one piece at a time, all of those foundational programs are being chipped away.
At the local level, county officials are taking legal action and redirecting funds to fight back against the president's devastating cuts, while No Kings Day unites and drives opposition tens of thousands strong.
Tens of thousands rallied in Seattle for No Kings Day, marching against President Trump's immigration policies and institutional overhauls, in what organizers call the largest protest in U.S. history. Organizers say they'll continue to fight back through the courts and community action. Well, that's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News. The FBI investigates a security threat near President Trump's Florida arrival route. Congressional criticism grows over U.S. drug strikes in the Caribbean, and Trump calls for a ceasefire in the war between Russia and Ukraine. Plus, a new study reveals that even people who look clean could face hidden heart risks. Find out why skinny fat is raising alarm for doctors. And cool and windy conditions in the 4 states. Chris has a look at your weekly forecast. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back. Topping Nation Watch. Over the weekend, the Defense Department confirmed another deadly strike on an alleged drug vessel in international waters. The Trump administration says the strikes have killed more than 30 people so far, ratcheting up tensions between the U.S. and multiple South American countries, including Colombia. Meanwhile, a federal probe is underway over a platform built in a tree near the airport that President Trump frequently uses in Florida. CBS News' Bradley Blackburn has more from New York.
The FBI is leading an investigation into what they call a suspicious old tree stand near West Palm Beach Airport, where President Trump flies in and out of whenever he travels to his Mar-a-Lago home. The Secret Service says it spotted the stand while preparing for the president's arrival over the weekend. The Trump administration released footage of its 7th known strike on an alleged drug trafficking boat in the Caribbean Sea last week. It comes as Colombian President Gustavo Petro has accused the U.S. of committing murder, claiming that a September strike killed fishermen. President Trump hit back, calling Petro an illegal drug dealer, while threatening to pull aid and slap Colombia with tariffs.
They are a drug manufacturing machine, Colombia, and we're not going to be part of it. So we're going to drop all money that we're giving to them.
Members of Congress have criticized the strikes.
I do worry about the legal authorities, or lack thereof.
All of these people have been blown up without us knowing their name, without any evidence of a crime.
Meanwhile, as pressure builds to end the Russia-Ukraine war, President Trump Sunday repeated his plea that both sides cease fighting and claim victory.
They should stop right now at the battle lines. Go home, stop killing people, and be done.
Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky expressed skepticism that Russian leader Vladimir Putin is serious about peace negotiations.
This war is not about the land and not about territories for him. It's about our sovereignty.
President Trump is preparing for another summit with Putin soon in Budapest. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News.
Today, the federal government shutdown stretches into day 20. A source familiar tells CBS News that Senate Republicans have been invited to the White House for lunch on Tuesday. Senate GOP members are considering votes this week on bills that would allow certain federal employees, like active duty military, to be paid as the stalemate stretches on. Well, still to come, a cult classic returns to the big screen. The DMV gets the sitcom treatment, and Ben Stiller reveals his family secrets in a new documentary. Plus, cool and windy conditions, Chris has a look at your Monday forecast. A news show highlights the chaos of a local DMV as actor Ben Stiller reflects on the past. Gwen Baumgarten has your Eye on Entertainment report.
A cult classic is returning to the big screen.
I am no master.
You sure look like a master to me.
The Last Dragon is celebrating 40 years as cast members reflect on its impact.
I think the legacy will be how many lives it's touched. And I have so many people come up to me, man, I did martial arts, I opened up my own karate school.
The martial arts dramedy returns to select theaters today and Wednesday. If you're looking for a little levity, head to the DMV. I mean this one.
Just give us a minute!
The new series puts humor into high gear, navigating angry customers and unapologetic coworkers.
What if you stay in your lane? Yes.
Yes, I'm not following.
Catch DMV tonight on CBS and Paramount Plus. And Ben Stiller with a new kind of lead role.
We don't know Ben, that's why we're so messed up.
The actor with an unvarnished look at himself and his family in the new documentary Stiller and Mira, Nothing is Lost. With cameras rolling, Stiller unpacks his Hollywood upbringing as the son of two successful actors.
Those things are maybe sometimes at odds, the idea of like, well, what's the most honest movie, but then how do I also kind of protect, my feelings about my parents, not wanting to expose things about them.
Stiller and Mira, Nothing is Lost, is currently playing in select theaters. You can stream it on Apple TV this Friday. That's your Eye on Entertainment. Gwen Baumgartner, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Certainly a lot of great options to keep your attention coming up. And now to Chris with a quick look at your forecast.
Yeah, we've got a pretty decent day. We're going to be a little warmer. We're also going to be very windy out there. We do have wind advisories for a good portion of the area through 1 o'clock this afternoon. Break down the details and talk about some of the cooler weather on the way behind the wind when the KOAM Morning News returns. Time now, 5:18. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News, 5:20 now on this Monday morning. Again, we do have a pretty decent day, a little warmer and a lot windier as we've got wind advisories for a good portion of the area for these 10 counties. These will run through 1 o'clock this afternoon. Winds are already a bit gusty this morning. They'll be even gustier as we head by mid-morning, let's say about 8, 9 o'clock, and they'll be pretty darn breezy through at least one, but here's the deal. Just because you're not under a wind advisory does not mean it's not going to be breezy where you are. It's kind of like the dense fog advisories, things like that. In addition, even though this is going to expire at 1, we will still have gusty winds beyond 1 o'clock. They'll just ease up a bit below wind advisory criteria, but we're looking at gusts anywhere from 45 to 50 miles an hour out of the south. And so what we've got, as I discussed, is we have a low pressure and a dry cold front, and they're going to meet up. So ahead of it, we have gusty south winds being brought in, and so that's another reason why we're going to be warmer today. But as you can see, we also have clear skies, plentiful sunshine out there, and as that front approaches, we could get a couple of clouds. I think even then it's going to be very brief if we see any cloud cover at all, because again, this is a dry front, but you can see it by 5 right along the I-44 corridor up towards Stockton, and back behind it we'll have gusty northwest winds, but they won't be as gusty as the south winds ahead of this thing. And we'll stay breezy overnight and throughout the day Tuesday. However, we are looking at clear skies on Tuesday. And again, our gusty winds still, like I said, breezy, just not as gusty overnight tonight and into Tuesday. Sunny skies, but behind that dry cold front, while there may not be any rain associated with it, it will drop our temperatures. And really, for the next 2 or 3 days, there's not a lot on the future track other than those clear skies across the area. In fact, Wednesday, relatively light winds, if not calm winds out there as we head through Wednesday afternoon and into Wednesday evening across the area. So temperatures down the road as well behind this cold front will drop. So again, today will warm up. We'll eventually go into the low 70s, but tomorrow, as you saw, we're into the upper 60s. By Tuesday night into Wednesday, look at some of these lows. Now we're below normal. Back into the low to mid 40s across the area. We head into Wednesday afternoon. Eventually we warm up, but seasonably so for most of us. We're looking at upper 60s, low 70s. Could get a little warmer down in our southwestern counties, but all in all, once we get behind this dry cold front, again, we are going to be fairly seasonable. Clear skies, again, breezy out there. Low 50s to start, mid 60s by 11 o'clock this morning. That south wind, especially as it ramps up, will start warming our temperatures into the upper 70s. We'll have the south winds sustained at 20 to 30, and then those gusts upwards of 50. So again, if you're driving a high-profile vehicle, especially on any east-west highways in the area, you want to make sure you're using extra caution, have a good grip on that wheel, and be careful out there. Clear skies through the evening, back down low 60s by 10. Again, temperatures begin to drop back behind this front. We'll be in the low to mid 40s. Northwest winds, though, still gusting to 25. And those same northwest winds will continue to gust tomorrow, a little cooler, but clear skies, upper 60s, low 70s Wednesday. Got some thunderstorm chances, another boundary coming through. It drops our temperatures once again from Thursday into Friday. And then as we head into the weekend, not too bad temperature-wise. Then another system next week could put our highs into the upper 50s and our lows into the upper 30s. So some much more cool weather on the way. That's checking your forecast. We're going to send it over to Samantha now with Health Watch.
Thanks, Chris. New research suggests people with advanced lung or skin cancer who got the COVID-19 vaccine live significantly longer than people who didn't. A University of Florida study found cancer patients who got the COVID vaccine within 100 days of starting immunotherapy drugs saw their survival rates nearly double. It's believed the COVID mRNA vaccine may wake up the immune system against cancer as well. People who are considered skinny fat may have a bigger risk of heart disease. A McMaster University study found even some people who appear lean may have hidden fat deep in the abdomen and livers that damages arteries. This type of fat also increases the risk of diabetes and high blood pressure. The study shows that body mass index and waistline size only tell part of the story. A new approach to helping prevent peanut allergies in kids appears to be working. Children's Hospital of Philadelphia says food allergy rates among kids are declining since new guidelines went into place. The new guidelines advise parents to introduce peanuts to infants early, which is shown to lower their risk of developing peanut allergies by more than 80%. It's a fitness trend that may have caught your eye recently. People walking around or working out in weighted vests posted on social media come with claims they can help boost weight loss or even build stronger bones. But healthcare professionals say some of the claims may not hold up. CBS's Jared Hill puts the weighted vest to test with an exercise expert.
I have my weighted vest on.
Weighted vests are having a moment in personal fitness. Noam Tamir, a trainer himself, says he started using a vest to boost his morning treadmill walk and get ready for some hiking.
This is great because it kind of prepares you for, if you're putting a backpack on with, all the equipment that you need for a hike.
Heather Milton, an exercise physiologist with NYU Langone Health, says walking with these vests can enhance a cardio workout and raise your heart rate. But she says data does not support the common claim that walking in a vest improves bone density.
Only 20 or 30 minutes of walking, we don't really know if it has the same benefit because it's such a small amount of time.
For those looking for benefits, here's a clear place to start. And then this one is adjustable with the weight, right?
Yeah, so we're gonna start around a 5% of what your body weight would be.
Milton says choose a vest with adjustable weight to work your way up. She says a weighted vest can also enhance resistance training if you wear it when lifting weights or doing calisthenics.
It stimulates adaptations of building better muscle, bone health, and tendon and ligament health.
The latest social media-driven fitness craze comes as about 3 in 5 adults tell health policy researchers at KFF that they use social media to find health information and advice. For Milton, all the TikTok and Instagram posts provide an opportunity to educate her clients.
Use that information to tell them whether or not something they've seen is beneficial for them individually.
Or if it's not worth its weight in sweat. Jared Hill, CBS News, New York.
Experts say there are studies looking at whether weighted vests can reduce the amount of bone loss when people with obesity lose a larger amount of weight. Medical professionals also suggest speaking with a doctor before starting a new workout program, especially if you're just beginning a fitness journey. Well, that's a look at some of today's top health stories. We'll be right back. Right now at 5:30, one Parsons teacher is bringing witches, ghouls, and creepy animatronics to life for students this Halloween.
And we've got a windy day out there, warmer temperatures, at least for today, and then another big cool down with your forecast coming up.
Plus, Joplin High School seniors get an unexpected payday. Hundreds awarded college scholarships without even applying.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5:30. I'm Samantha Walker.
And I'm Chris Warner. It's Monday, October the 20th. Hopefully everybody had a good weekend. I know for Maple Leaf and for anything in general, it was a pretty stormy weekend we had. Had some stronger storms, had some gusty winds, a lot of heavy rain, a lot of lightning, and more than one round of those showers and storms on Saturday. Kind of making things a little complicated. Now we've dried out though. Much cooler yesterday, a little warmer today. It'll cool down again. We're going to first start with our traditional look outside, downtown Pittsburgh. And there it is. Looks pretty good so far this morning. We got clear skies this morning. We will have clear skies through at least Wednesday at this point. Our camera 7th and range line looks good as well, as does the MoDOT camera 20th and range line in Joplin. So here's what we're talking about the wind. Wind advisories in these counties in tan through 1 o'clock this afternoon, because we could have wind gusts out of the south upwards of 45 to 50 miles an hour. Now, I do want to emphasize that it's not like the gusty winds just suddenly cut off at county lines. It's just the gusts may be on average a wee bit lower than what wind advisory criteria is. So it will be breezy across the entire region. And so in terms of your trash can, now thankfully our trash day is on Thursday, or it's Friday, so ours isn't out there just yet. But others, yeah, we're talking your trash can may be down the street. Now, it's going to be breezy through most of the day. As we get behind this dry cold front, those wind gusts still up to 25 later tonight into tomorrow, but at least they won't be upwards of 50. Future track will show what we've got is a low pressure system, and we got a dry cold front coming in behind it, and we're kind of trapped between the pressure gradients, which is why we'll have these gusty winds. Here's that front by 4 o'clock. You can see the wind shifting out of the northwest. Could have a cloud or two, but I think for the most part we are looking at just clear skies. Temperatures this morning, while they are cooler, most of us still are above normal. We should be in the upper 40s. We got a lot of low to mid 50s. We do have some upper 40s here and there, and Cassville's still the cool spot sitting at 45. Kids out the door this morning, we're looking at about 53, clear skies, breezy. Those gusty winds, lunch, recess, 71 at 76 as they head home with those clear skies. So that's what I'm saying. The south wind's bringing in some warmer air. Upper 50s by 9, low 70s by noon, mid upper 70s for our highs. And again, out there, south winds sustain 20 to 30 with those gusts upwards of 50. So do be cautious. Gusty winds, as I mentioned, continue tonight, tomorrow, but they'll be a lot better. And our temperatures will drop with this dry cold front. Details on that in just a few more minutes. Samantha?
Chris, thanks. Hundreds of Joplin High School seniors discovered their academic efforts have paid off in an unexpected way. Nearly 600 seniors are receiving scholarship money through VIEW scholarships. Unlike traditional scholarship funds, the students were automatically entered into the Kansas City-based program, with their GPA and SAT scores earning them money for partnering colleges. To get ready to celebrate Halloween, a teacher in Parsons, Kansas, has a spooky stage set up for students to experience. The stage is filled with animatronics, complete with witches, ghouls, and much more.
I also get to teach kids that something might look scary at first, but they can be brave and work through it and learn that it's all for fun and they can enjoy it, just like I do.
The haunted stage is open for all students, kindergarten through 5th grade in the Parsons School District. When finances get tight for families, things like kids' Halloween costumes may fall through the cracks. According to the National Retail Federation, consumers are spending an average of $37.62 on costumes this year. That's about an 11% increase from last year. Costumes pre-pandemic in 2019 were about $7 cheaper. But for one man, it's his life's mission to make and give away free Halloween costumes.
Several times a week, Christoph Wagoner goes digging for treasure.
I'm trying to see if anything catches my attention.
Buried deep, he sometimes strikes gold.
It's usually either shiny, furry, or sparkly.
And he always comes away with a big haul.
7, 8, 9.
These may seem like random pieces of clothing from a Goodwill in Central Texas, but Wagoner has a vision.
I can cut that off, sew them up, make them shorter.
Soon, these will all be Halloween costumes.
It's like winning when you find two pieces that go together.
Back home in Austin, he washes, cuts, glues, and sews, redesigning thousands of garments into something brand new.
Why is it important that they feel like they're not just getting a hand-me-down?
I want everybody, all the kids, their parents, whatever, to feel like they're getting the same thing that somebody went out and bought.
Then every fall, Wagoner hosts events for kids to pick out costumes for free. While he's been doing this for 9 years, he says turnout has been the biggest ever this season.
There's a lot of people getting their jobs taken away from them. Everything is going up in price.
The cost of costumes can be scary for some right now due to the tariffs on most goods from China.
What do you say to people who think it's just a Halloween costume? There are much more important things in this economy, putting food on the table, shelter.
Everybody should deserve a chance to be a kid.
And every year, his own kindness is paid forward. Families who've gotten costumes from him return and donate.
The very first one, I had a kid, probably 6 years old, come up to me with a costume and said, "My mommy said I could give this to you because I can't wear it. Maybe somebody else can."
Wagoner just wants every kid to experience the universal joy of trick-or-treating without the financial burden for parents.
I mean, with two, it's nice to not have to worry about the expense.
I love that he has so many people who support him and do that and bring the costumes to recycle them.
The donations help because at 62 and still working a full-time job, Wagoner buys garments out of pocket and spends more than $5,000 a year for storage alone.
What's the payoff?
The goal is to make people better than they were before the event. And if there's somebody there to help you, then you're more than likely to turn around and help somebody else.
Wagoner has become the fairy godfather for kids who may feel like Cinderella, turning rags into regalia to keep the magic of Halloween alive.
With Wagoner's story spreading, people have begun to ship in their used costumes from all across the country. It's kindness and paying it forward. Karen Hua, CBS News, Austin, Texas.
How special. Well, that's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. Coming up, Eastern European kids learn to fly drones not for fun, but to defend their homes. Why these high-tech lessons could soon play a role in regional security. Plus, a major recall on frozen breakfast burritos, why the USDA says these products could pose a danger, and in what schools are being told to do next. We'll have the latest. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. In Consumer Watch, after-school activities are taking a high-tech turn overseas. As kids in parts of Eastern Europe take drone lessons, not for fun, but to help prepare civilians for potential threats from Russia. Defense officials say the push comes as drone intrusions into NATO airspace are on the rise.
So I'm teaching how to fly drones, how to lift them, how to use them. We're learning how to race.
Kids are flying the drones through virtual and real-world obstacle courses. Other Baltic nations are launching similar programs aimed at boosting national defense and giving kids tech skills that could shape their future careers. The Department of Agriculture says more than 90,000 pounds of MCI Foods prepackaged frozen breakfast burritos have been recalled because they contain eggs that are possibly tainted with listeria. A post by the department says some of the products may have been shipped to schools as part of the National School Lunch and Breakfast Program. The FDA says no illnesses have been reported so far. Institutions have been advised not to serve the wraps and to throw them away. Two major French companies, cosmetics giant L'Oreal and luxury group Kering, announced they are entering a strategic partnership focused on beauty and wellness. Under the terms, Kering is selling its beauty division to L'Oreal in a deal worth more than $1 billion. This gives the cosmetic company control of House of Creed fragrances and licenses for beauty and fragrance products from Kering's high-end brands, including Gucci, Bottega Veneta, and Balenciaga. The sale is believed to help alleviate some of Kering's high debt. And horror sequel Black Phone 2 screamed to the top of the weekend box office in North America, pulling in more than $26 million. John Aries slipped to second with more than $11 million, and comedy Good Fortune debuted with more than $6 million. Enjoying the great outdoors can be a year-round pleasure, no matter where you live. Now there's a growing mission to bring the benefits of forests into surprisingly small spaces. Bradley Blackburn has more on the tiny forest movement.
Something's growing in Summit, New Jersey. This tiny forest is an entire ecosystem, squeezed in a space the size of a suburban yard.
How many different plants are in here?
So over 50 species.
Donna Gagan Patel says this quarter-acre forest has thrived since it was first planted 3 years ago.
We had hundreds of people who volunteered time here helping to prepare the ground for the planting, actually doing the planting, and then watering and weeding the first several years.
Summit signed on to a global movement to put small forests in unused urban spaces. This one growing in Berkeley, California, another now taking root in Iowa. Proponents say the tiny forests absorb rainwater, capture carbon, and create habitat for wildlife. They're also known as Miyawaki forests, named for the Japanese botanist who created a planting technique to help them grow up to 10 times faster.
Putting them densely planted helps them to compete for resources and grow quicker.
In Summit, the tall fence keeps hungry deer out. Plants are native to this area.
We have white turtlehead.
And placed intentionally to mature together in the coming decades.
Should be fully developed in 20 to 30 years.
Let's go, Bubby.
But Mary Tarashuk and her dog Punk are enjoying the benefits now.
The air almost seems purer when you're breathing it in here because you're just surrounded by all these beautiful trees.
A peaceful way to enjoy nature and help the earth in a new, small spot. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, Summit, New Jersey.
Summit says it costs about $13,000 to plant the forest, and right now it's maintained with the help of volunteers. Over time, it should become self-sustaining, just like a larger forest. Well, that's it for Consumer Watch, and now here's Chris with a quick look at your forecast.
Yeah, we've got clear skies to start the day. A bit breezy this morning, but winds will continue to increase. That's why we do have some wind advisories in place for a good portion of the area for later this morning into the early afternoon. Break down those details, how warm it's going to be today and how much cooler it's going to get tonight when the KOAM Morning News returns. Time now is 5:45. We'll be right back.
Amazingly, no one was injured in a grain bin collapse this week in Illinois, but people are stunned by what was caught on camera in today's Ag Day Minute.
I'm Clinton Griffiths with today's Ag Day Minute. Cattle prices were sharply lower on Friday after an announcement from President Trump.
We are working on beef, and I think we have a deal on beef that's going to bring the price of beef. That would be the one product that we would say is a little bit higher than we want it.
The president didn't elaborate on what the deal was, but one idea being floated is the possibility of the U.S. buying beef from Argentina, or at least lowering the tariffs to allow more product to move into the U.S. Dramatic moments in Martin, Illinois, as a grain bin collapsed. Firefighters were responding to a different emergency call when they were notified about a structural issue with the bin. They evacuated people from the area. The bin collapsed an hour later. No one was injured. Officials say before the collapse, the bin was holding more than 30,000 bushels of soybeans. And a grower from Northern California has been crowned champion at this year's Safeway World Championship Pumpkin Weigh-Off. Brendan Dawson's giant jack-o'-lantern coming in with a weight of 2,346 pounds. Now, Dawson is an engineer in Santa Rosa. He says he's been growing massive pumpkins for 5 years. He says the secret is to give it just the right amount of water and sunlight. Now, Dawson took home $20,000 in prize money for his efforts. For more Ag News, watch Ag Day weekdays on the station or get updates over at agweb.com.
Now let's take it over to Chris with a quick look at your forecast.
Yeah, we've got another pretty decent day. A little warmer today and breezy today as well. Wind advisories for the counties in tan through 1 o'clock this afternoon. We've already got some gusty winds this morning, but they will begin to increase in the next couple of hours and then stay gusty through 1 o'clock. So we're looking at wind gusts pretty high up there, anywhere as 45, 50 miles an hour. So onto the gust tracker. So as we go through the morning, now in some cases it does go a little overboard, but we are going to be watching the winds begin to increase out there with those wind gusts, and eventually, again, a good portion of the area should see 45 to 50 mile an hour wind gusts out of the south as we begin into the morning and rolling into the afternoon. Now, what we've got is a low pressure system and a dry cold front. We're sandwiched in between, which is what's increasing the winds, and here's that boundary getting ready to push into southeast Kansas. So by this afternoon, at least briefly, the winds do ease up a bit, but then the gusty winds will return as we go overnight and into tomorrow. We'll start to see the winds still gusting upwards of 25 miles an hour. In fact, a better view on even here, just those wind arrows without anything else on it. Could get a cloud or two with that front as it pushes through, but if we do get any, it'll be very brief. But you see by 5, there's where that front's going to be. And once we get behind it, it's still breezy on the backside of this front, but it won't be as gusty. We're talking 20, 25 mile an hour wind gusts out of the northwest. And then that also plays a part in our temperatures. So as we go into our Tuesday, take a look by noon, right around low to mid 60s by noon tomorrow. In fact, the number of us probably only into the mid to upper 60s for our highs. Now, we could get some low 70s, in our far southwestern counties, but the majority of us into the upper 60s tomorrow. So that's why we're talking about 10, 12 degree drop from today's highs to tomorrow's highs. And of course, will lead to another pretty chilly night. Take a look as we head into Wednesday morning. A lot of low 40s. Not expecting upper 30s at this point, but it's not out of the question. But we're looking at low to mid 40s as we get the day started on our Wednesday. And of course, Wednesday will be seasonably cool. Most of us upper 60s, low 70s. Again, further west, could get a little warmer out there. But otherwise, this is just a one-day deal, really, on the region warming up before we get back to much more seasonable conditions. All right, clear skies again through the morning. Low 50s to start, warming up nicely to the mid 60s by 11 a.m. Clear skies and breezy. So that's the thing, is at least for a while, these winds will be out of the south. Sustained winds 20 to 30, which is strong enough as it is. And you throw in those gusts 45 to 50. If you are driving a high profile vehicle on any east-west roadways, you really want to make sure you're paying attention. Make sure you got a good hold on that wheel, because these winds are going to be, again, coming out of the south before they shift out of the northwest behind that front. Our highs today, again, above normal, upper 70s across the area. Clear skies through the evening, perhaps a cloud or two at that front, but anything we see is going to be very short-lived is the expectation. Now, depending on where you are, some of you, your temperatures may drop a little faster than this, because if you get behind that front earlier as it pushes through, your temperatures will fall a little quicker. But eventually, again, all of us low to mid 40s out there. Northwest winds overnight gusting to 25, and that'll be the case tomorrow as well. Still gusting to 25. Otherwise, sunny, upper 60s. Some low 70s Wednesday. Another system Thursday, Friday brings us a few more scattered storm chances. Our weekend's not too bad. We warm up briefly again next week for another boundary. More showers, more storm chances, and much cooler weather possible by the second half of next week. That's Check Your Forecast. We're back with more right after this.
Pet owners got creative with costumes for an annual Halloween trick-or-treat event in Michigan. The festivities brought hundreds of dressed-up dogs through the Arts District, where store owners handed out treats. This year's parade featured special guests, including a cat in a costume and even a baby who joined their furry companion for the spooky celebration. Across the world, Google Street View cameras have been quietly snapping photos for nearly 2 decades, mapping streets but also capturing moments no one expected, from a motorcycle crash caught in midair to a tiger on the loose. Some of those candid, chaotic, and captivating moments are being celebrated as accidental street art at a new exhibit in Denmark. Curators say the collection invites us to rethink how we see technology and the surprising stories it records.
That's certainly interesting. If you go back on Street View and Google and Joplin, and if you grew up where I did, close to my house, you will see me in the 2007 update looking into the hood of my first car my dad gave me. It was a van. I was working on the van when the Google Street, I didn't even see it go by, but there I am with a lot more hair. It's a lot harder to recognize me, but I thought it was interesting. It's about the only time I've ever been caught on Google Street View, but you see them going around every so often. It's pretty neat, some things they capture. All right, hopefully they're out today. They're capturing beautiful weather. We've got clear skies, breezy though. Remember, we have wind advisories, good portion of the area through 1 o'clock today. We'll start in the low 50s, go into the mid 60s by 11 o'clock this morning. Eventually warming with these south winds to the upper 70s. South winds sustain 20 to 30, gusts upwards of 50. So you want to make sure you're cautious out there if you're traveling, especially in high profile vehicles. Then they'll shift out of the northwest behind the dry cold front, which will eventually bring us down in the low to mid 40s tonight. Northwest winds still gusty, but not as gusty. Back at about 25 miles an hour. Still breezy tomorrow. Same range. Northwest winds gusting up to 25. Upper 60s though. Look at that. And we'll go low 70s Wednesday. Scattered storms on Thursday and Friday. Not a bad weekend, and more rain chances next Monday and Tuesday. That's Check Your Forecast. Another hour of the KOAM Morning News right after this.